just want to take a quick moment just to thank everybody for their support. Your subscriptions, comments, likes on the videos motivates me to continue to bring more of the things that I make to the channel. You know, my aim is just to inspire, and I hope this inspires you and gives you other ideas. I know there's a lot of people out there that want to 3D print life-size objects but don't have the time. If you haven't got the time or the money to spend on all the filament, you can still get a really, really good life-size object without printing the entire model, just by coming up with another idea, such as this Freddy wall art. This was taken from a miniature model, probably about, I don't know, yay high. I scaled it up, as you saw in the montage at the start of this video. I scaled it up, I split it how I wanted it cut, and I made it so it would look like he's coming out of the wall, like you're in one of his nightmare sequences in Nightmare on Elm Street. This didn't take me long. It took me about 4 days to print and maybe 2 days to paint, and that was just chilling with it. I was just doing a couple of hours here and there. The airbrush work was pretty much just to fill in the spaces, you know, the sores on his face from the burns, and I used a sponge and washes just to wipe away from the raised areas to give that fleshy tone. I did use a couple of different fleshy tones, starting with pale, and then I kind of got a little bit darker in areas and just trying to mix that tone shift, you know, in the colours. Then I did an airbrushing with black, just to kind of darken some of them as well. You saw at the end there when I weathered the jumper, I wanted it to look charred, and I wanted the skin around kind of his neck and his ears to look like they were like burnt bacon, you know. I kind of wanted that look. I feel like I got that look, but mostly, you know, this is actually on the wall currently in my lounge. I do have small children, but they're not fazed by it. You'd think, oh my god, that must scare the hell out of your kids. That doesn't, because they know it's not real. They have watched me. They've watched me from the beginning. They've watched it 3D print, they've watched it come out in blocks and pieces and then glued together, and they've watched the process of the paint. So the hat that I got for Freddy was a cheap one. I'll put a link in the description to the things that I used, so you can, if you want to do this for yourself, that'll all be in the description. So the hat that I used was a cheap costume prop hat, and it looks quite authentic for the character. Just airbrushed it black. I made sure that I stayed within the corners and not the corners, the edges of the hat, like going around the rim and the front part here where it dips in. It got to be a bit darker with the airbrush, and then everything else just kind of make it patchy and just dirty, you know, dirty it up. Just go crazy with the airbrush, stick in those edges and corners and just make the shape stand out by making them just a little bit darker, and the contours of the hat will pop. Same as the jumper, I used a lighter just to burn up some of the frayed edges, just take some of it back, make it a little bit coarser, and just give a little bit of texture to some of the bits that kind of stick out and that to the eye. It's probably not something you'd notice in passing or just looking at it, but I noticed it, and the frayed bits are just not gonna, you know, just gonna make it look a little bit scruffy, so I kind of wanted to get rid of those. Same around the edge of the torso as well. I took a lighter to that and just took away those frayed edges. I did the same thing that I did with the hat. I just gave it a quick black airbrush all over the jumper, and then with the edges, like where, if I lift my arm up, see where your t-shirt kind of creases in here, I wanted those creases to kind of stand out, make those pop, give off kind of a shadow. And the same with the stitching that comes down the jumper along here and then around the edge. I took the stitching and I just went down it. You saw that. I wanted the stitching and the seams to kind of pop out, I went for the shape of this because it feels right to Robert Englund's take on Freddy, because I believe he said in an interview or something like that about the production of Freddy, when the way he stands, he drops his shoulder, he holds the glove. I'll probably put up a picture now, but he drops his shoulder when he stands like Freddy, because he wanted that gunslinger western kind of look, like the glove was his gun, it's his weapon in a western, so he drops his shoulder. The shoulder felt important to Robert Englund's take on the character, so I did that. So you saw in the making process, you probably thought, hang on a minute, why has he cut the top part of Freddy's head off? I wasn't completely confident with how the hat was going to sit on top of his head. Oh my god, I can't speak. So I wasn't completely confident with the way that the hat was going to sit on top of Freddy's head. I wanted it to sit just on his ears and come right round just above his brow, to give that ominous kind of look, you know, so it's like there, and so all you can see is his kind of glare at you like that. Also to save on filament, because you're not seeing it, it doesn't need to be there. Just glue the hat onto the brow and you've got a lighter model, and you haven't used as much filament as you normally would. I probably saved maybe 100 grams, give or take, just doing the top part of his head there. Between 50 and 100 grams, I'd say, which adds up. So I just want to thank the original creator of this model. His name's Morio. I don't know. I'm not going to butcher his name, but thank you for creating this great model and giving me the opportunity to make this wall art. I'll put a link in the description so you can buy the full model for this from his page. Put it down there. So if you want his full model, crack on, support him. He's done a fantastic job. I bought his model and I love it. Maybe one day I will print the whole model. I will also put a link down there to my slice version for those that can't slice. Okay, I just want to say before I go, thank you for watching. Please blast that like button down there. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if this has inspired you to do your own and what you would do with something like this if you plan on making it. I'd be really interested to see what other people do with it, how yours comes out. You can always email me a picture. I'd really appreciate a picture if you're going to make this and do it yourself. My email is on my channel page. If I missed anything, leave a comment. I try and answer all of my comments as soon as possible. So I look forward to speaking to you again. Take care, and thanks again for watching.